Hey guys, I'm back with another candle review, and this time around it's for the 14.5 ounce 3-wick Some Bunny Loves You Sweet Carrot Cake candle from Bath & Body Works, part of the Easter collection. This one was a late release, but it does appear to be available online and in stores now. The notes on this read sweet cream cheese frosting, fluffy carrot cake, and cinnamon spice. So yeah, this fragrance came out last year, and I really enjoyed it. It really just smells like a sweet carrot cake fragrance, and I bought two of them. But last year's version had like the curling thin wicks or the flat wicks that stood like crazy, whereas this year's version had the thick rope-like wick. So it's really interesting to see how this one would perform compared to last year's. So that's why we have this year's version here right now. As for what it smells like, it's really quite straightforward. It does smell like a carrot cake fragrance. I believe the box that it comes in shipment, it says pumpkin carrot cake. So we do speculate that maybe it is a repackage of the elusive test fragrance that was called pumpkin carrot cake many, many years ago. I never had that one, so I can't really compare it. But in any case, it does smell like a carrot cake fragrance, and it could potentially be like a fall fragrance. So if you're missing like the fall pumpkin gourmand bakery fragrances during the spring and summertime, then you can kind of check this one out to get that fix. So it basically smells really like a carrot cake. You get the cinnamon spices in there, and then you also get a nice like good dose of the sweet cream cheese frosting. There's a little bit of that like sort of like sourness that you would get from cream cheese, but it's sweetened enough that it's not at all off-putting, but it's definitely noticeable. So I like that. It really just smells like a straightforward carrot cake fragrance. It's not artificial or synthetic. It's pretty authentic and just smells like a delicious carrot cake fragrance, and it's just pretty good and straightforward. I really loved it last year. And this year's version does smell pretty much the same when you go to burn it, so if you did like last year's, rest assured that this one does smell the same as the previous version. So it's pretty much what it smells like. Nothing else really to say about it. Then yeah, I actually really quite enjoy the fragrance, and if you want something that's more like fall bakery-ish, then check this out. Yeah, it could be pumpkin spice, I suppose, but it is what it is. They kind of interchange the spice and those type of notes all throughout the year anyway, so it is what it is. So that's the fragrance, and let me go into the performance. This is a fifth burn, and I have to say the throw on this is just actually quite light, like much lighter than last year's, which is the biggest downfall for me, even though I've seen quite a few reviews say that theirs is pretty strong. So the batch code on mine is 2066AG04, and that version for me, which was the same batch that I had in the store, like all of them were the same batch. It smells great on cold, but when you go to burn it, it's just quite weak, like substantially weaker than last year's, so not too satisfactory. I actually bought two of them right off the bat, but I will most likely exchange the second one just because this version is just not doing so hot. So yeah, the throw on it definitely suffers. I've burned it all 5 times and just really can't smell it too much. Like it's light to medium. I would say maybe like a 4. No more than a 4 in both the open concept area and a smaller bedroom. And I was like, well, maybe my nose is just wax. So I burned like mahogany coconut, and that, of course, was like super strong. I could smell it immediately, among many other candles that I burned kind of around it. So it just seems like the version or the batch that I have on this one is quite light, and it is a little bit of a downgrade from last year. So I personally can't recommend like this batch that I have, and I most certainly wouldn't like repurchase this batch. And obviously, I'm going to exchange the second one. So definite bummer there, because I just remember last year's version being much stronger than this, and I really enjoyed it. So that's the experience that I had, but obviously your mileage may vary just with, all the different versions out there and whatever, what have you. Everyone has a different nose, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was the throw on mine. As for the performance though, it's been doing quite well. It has the thick rope-like wick, so it has a little bit more of a controlled flame than the crazy like curling ones from last year. That it doesn't soot anywhere near as bad as the last year's version. It does like soot when you like move the candle like uncontrollably for like 3 or 4 minutes. There was just like massive soot coming like when I was moving this into the frame, but like once you like set it down into one position and you don't move it, it seems pretty controlled and there's not too much soot coming off of it. But obviously it does start getting hot and sooty about like after 3 hours, so just keep on top of that. But otherwise fine for the actual performance itself, other than the like reduced throw that I experienced on my version. Overall, with the version that I have from the store that I bought it from and the specific batch that I have, I would not repurchase this, and I wouldn't really recommend it based on the really like low level of throw. I mean, it's not unscented by any means, but it's not as strong as last year's, and I still have one from last year, so I'll be satisfied with that, and I'll just finish this one off and exchange the second one. That's just kind of the verdict on the version that I had. Let me know if you've already burned this one, if yours is much stronger than mine, and if you have a batch code on on that one. Let me know in the comments down below. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Great fragrance. I love the fragrance, but it's just the throw on this version that I have is just quite reduced. So I'm not too happy about that. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.